For Vodacom Tanzania, financial inclusion is a very important area and issue for us overall. But when it comes to women, I think it becomes even more important, especially when you look at statistics, and that talks to the number of women who actually have access to these services. So from a recent report from the GSMA, we find out that women are 10% less likely to actually own a handset. And when you start looking at accessing and using mobile services or mobile money services, that number rises up to 33%. So just by looking at those statistics, we feel we need to be doing something as Vodacom to close the gender gap. And we know as women are very resourceful. So if we empower a woman through financial services, she'll be able to gain her independence. She'll be able to be more confident. She'll be able to unleash businesses and do a lot more. When we talk about the gender gap and why there are fewer women using mobile services than there are men, there are several issues that I will call barriers. Number one is affordability. Women, in most cases, can't afford to buy a handset. Accessibility, they feel it isn't relevant to them. And also you've got the illiteracy levels, whether it's being able to read or write, whether it's being able to use the device or having financial literacy. There are other issues around safety and security with the fact of possessing a handset and on top of that having funds in your handsets. So I think it's very important for us to really tap into each of these individual items to try and just bring women on board to start using financial services. In order to reach women, I think it's important to actually go through these barriers and start working on them one by one. And that is something that Vodacom strives to do through the products and services that they offer, and especially around the M-Pesa space. At Vodacom, and especially within M-Pesa, it's all about innovation. How do we bring services that will talk to the individual and end user? And especially how do these services talk to women? Following the last GSMA conference where you spoke to my colleague, we have been able to roll out several products that talk to, whether it's directly or indirectly, to women. So we have products such as Songesha, where you're able to access an overdraft sort of feature within M-Pesa. We have further developed our Empower structure around loans and savings. We have an energy lay-by, solar energy lay-by product, whereby women, by putting in a little money at a time, could then afford to buy solar equipment so that they can light up their homes and further improve their productivity levels. We've also introduced a self-reversal mechanism on the M-Pesa platform. Now, this actually helps erode the issue of trust and fear when somebody sends money to the wrong person. You can do it yourself and protect your funds instantly. One that I'd really like to talk about is that of M-Koba that we have just recently launched. M-Koba is a group saving scheme. Now, it's very popular in Tanzania and especially amongst women, and we call that Vikoba. Now, what women tend to do on a regular basis, whether it's weekly or monthly, they will come together and put funds together, which they're able to then access as loans amongst each others. It's really based around trust, and that's what's really worked around it. So as M-Pesa, we have been able to come up with an innovative way of actually being able to collect these funds using your handset. So not only does it enable you to have your funds in one wallet, but it gives these women visibility onto how much has been collected. It gives visibility onto who has accessed the loan and how much has been paid. So increasing the trust levels and convenience around the whole product. But on top of that, within the M-commerce and M-Pesa space, we have been really capitalizing on existing products that we have. How can we really leverage and increase adoptability for women? So in the merchant space, we have partnered with IFC, and we are running a lot of awareness and education schemes and programs to get more women using and adopting the Lipa kwa M-Pesa product. The other thing that we also have done is just around accessibility. How do we make M-Pesa more accessible to the women? And you'll notice that through a lot of our advertising and communication, we are featuring more women just for them to understand that they too can play a part and be part of this great product. And finally, we are engaging in face-to-face programs just to increase penetration. So we're relying and using our agent network, whether in the form of M-Pesa wakalas or in the form of freelancers, to educate women on how the product works to make them more comfortable and really want to use it. And we incentivize these people to really improve and ramp the adoption rate. The GSMA conference presence in Africa, I feel, is a very important event, especially on the continent. One, it just demonstrates that technology, especially mobile technology, is not just something that happens outside of the continent, as we see with a lot of other conference and events of its kind, but also it shows that we have great products and innovations that are coming from the continent, from local Africans, and people from across the world can also learn from the African continent.